Hello and welcome to UK Gaming Network. I'm Zoidberg and I used to review video games for a living, writing for both Amiga Action and Games X magazines. This is the re-review, where I'm going to take a look back at all the games that I playtested during this time. In each episode I'm going to take a selected game and re-examine it through today's eyes. Did I score it correctly or did I get it completely wrong? In this episode I'm going to take a look at Alien Breed, developed and published by Team 17 in 1991. Back in 1990, 17-bit Software were a company specialising in publishing and distributing shareware titles, who joined forces with a small developer from Sweden called Team 7. Team 7 had recently had a little bit of mild success with a game called Miami Chase that was published by Codemasters. For their first game together, they self-published a fighting game called Full Contact. For their second game, inspiration came from the Alien film series, but according to the game's artist and designer, Rico Holmes, games such as Laser Squad and Paradroid were also an influence. It's a 1 or 2 player overhead shoot 'em up, where you must battle through level after level of an alien-infested facility. It was an instant success, and the 1992 budget re-release would actually remain on the UK charts for over a year. As part of my job for Games X, I actually got to visit the Team 17 offices in Wakefield in order to preview their next game, Project X, which is a game for another time. There I got to meet Alien Breed's producer Martin Brown, as well as discuss it with the programmer Andreas Tadic. The game's atmospheric theme was composed by famed musician Alistair Brimble, who has over 100 Amiga games to his credit, including Bubble and Squeak, Z-Wolf and a number of Dizzy games. You can visit his page on exotica.org to listen to a number of his best tunes. I'll put the link for that in the description below. Now though, it's time to find out what 17-year-old me thought of Alien Breed, by taking a look at my original review. My review appeared in issue 28 of Games X from the 31st of October 1991. Game of the Week in that issue was awarded to the arcade conversion of Capcom's Mega Twins, which was published by US Gold. I awarded it 5 X's out of 5, with gameplay and lastability scoring 18 out of 20 and presentation 19 out of 20. I especially liked the game's audio, praising the atmosphere that the game evokes, particularly during the rush to each level's exit. Alien Breed has some of the best graphics I've seen on the Amiga. Audio really is of arcade quality, with loads of sample speech, blasting and dying aliens. The fact that the game's intro sequence came on a separate disc, but the game could be booted without it, was a nice touch. I also praised how well the game worked as a 2-player title, stating that the option to share credits would guarantee arguments with your friends. Okay, now let's play the game and see what it's like. I'm playing this on the A500 Mini, and I've programmed in some of the keyboard controls onto the joypad buttons. I think this opening level does a great job of easing you into the game. There's not a lot of enemies. It helps you to learn what the different collectibles are and what computer terminals look like, and so on and so forth. The first thing that strikes you is how bad the actual player sprite looks compared to everything else. But everything else about the game looks really, really good. I mean, the corridors, the aliens, and I think the sound is a very strong part of this game as well. I do really, really like the exploration side of the game. So having to actually plan your way to where that X is on the map over on the right hand side there. But not only that, you have to plan your route back to the deck lift, as you'll see shortly. It is actually possible to completely run out of keys and get stuck, which is a flaw in the game design, certainly, because that actually requires you to completely exit the game and start again from the beginning, which is obviously not ideal. Okay, so the ship's core is down that corridor to the right there. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't touch the gen... Oh, damn it. I touched it. But the way that the levels turn entirely red and the alarms start sounding and the computer voice, it all makes it really, really tense in a really good way. I referred to this game as a Gauntlet clone in my original review, and that's not entirely accurate because I think there's Yes, okay, it's viewed from a top-down view, but I think that's the only similarity that it has. As you can see in that room there's an extra life and some pickups, but that's you're going to have to actually confront a boss before you can do that. I think this is actually the best weapon to use for this boss fight. And then I now need to make my way all the way back to the deck lift in the top left-hand corner of that map. So yeah, I think on the whole, it's still a decent game by today's standards. I mean, there's a few little design issues by the fact that you can get completely stuck if you run out of ammo and keys. But the exploration aspect is really good. The presentation, particularly the sound, is definitely top tier. It's definitely a game that I would recommend you play if you have access to an A500 Mini or otherwise. Even after nearly 31 years, Alien Breed is still a great game to play, especially if you can drag a friend along for the ride. I still really enjoy the challenge of having to plan out my escape route from each level, and the destruct sequence still gets the adrenaline pumping even after all this time. It's easy to see why I fell for the charms of the presentation. Both the graphics and sound work in tandem to create a great atmosphere. There's no motion tracker, but the ominous hum of the spacecraft and the various noises made by the aliens themselves still manage to keep the tension high. The opening level does a good job of introducing the exploration side of the gameplay, but I think the levels do get a little bit too big too soon. A few smaller levels, especially in the early stages, would have helped give the player a feeling of progression. The in-game economy works reasonably well, although the prices of some of the better weapons are a little high. It's fair to say that even Team 17 themselves became aware of the Alien Breed's shortcomings as they fixed most of these flaws in the 1992 Special Edition, which is one of the games pre-installed on the A500 Mini. Alien Breed is certainly better than its disappointing sequel, but it took until Alien Breed Tower Assault for the series to hit its full potential. There are definite shortcomings, such as the limited enemy AI and some pacing issues, but there's nothing here to stop me recommending it to fans of a decent shoot-'em-up. Using today's scoring system, this would still be a solid 7 out of 10 from me. Thank you for watching the review. If you enjoyed this video, then please support the channel by clicking like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like, at UKGNZoidberg. I'll be back with another episode in 2 weeks' time, so tune in then to see what game I'll be covering. For now though, I'll leave you with a little hint. See you next time.